Hello, welcome to the 6 yard box. Welcome to the 6 yard box. Hello. And we have like a. We need to sort that out. We have like a feedback. Yep, I sorted out. So, yeah, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. This is all about 90 minutes. And all about 90 minutes. And we'll be talking about that game between Nigeria and DR Congo, and Nigeria are out of the World Cup, which is a bit of a shame. You know, it's one of those that Nigeria are out again, missing out on the second World Cup in succession. And yeah, this one was a bit painful, to be honest. Nobody has the bat right. At the end of the day, you gotta fight for your sport. You gotta fight for your places. You gotta fight for the right to be at the World Cup. Nobody has a divine right, and it just looks like we. I think Nigeria, we messed up the group stages because South Africa and Zimbabwe and Benin Republic in our group. Good teams, especially Benin Republic and South Africa, have good teams, and those are the games we should be winning at home. Especially, I remember the drawing against Zimbabwe and Rwanda or something like that. Or Lesotho, did we draw with Lesotho as well? And yeah, it was. Everybody knows this story. I'm not gonna go into details, but we got into the playoffs. I had another chance, beat Gabon, and every single Nigerian were thinking this game was gonna be a game whereby you know we were gonna just you know play them and really come to the party. This is the performance that we really actually needed, a big performance from the team, and the team failed to turn up. Really, they failed to turn up when it mattered most, and they just performed really bad. I had some problems with my stream, so I couldn't watch most of the game as I was trying to sort the stream out, especially in the first half. But yeah, got my acts together, and eventually I was able to watch the game, and yeah, just couldn't. What do you call it? Just couldn't get the game. Get the game on, and it was tough. It was tough. It was tough trying to watch the game, and then when I got the stream right and watching the game as well, it was tough to watch. Nigeria scored before I started watching. Oyeka scored the goal, and then I think I saw this equalizer as well. 32 minutes was a poor goal, losing possession in transition, and it's one of those whereby the game, just watching the game as a fan, you're watching your team play bad, you just expect the worst, because it's everything comes down to a result at the end of it. If you play bad, you don't win games. And the way we were playing, I think we were just getting worse. They were just getting bad. There was no control in midfield. Possession was off. Couldn't get control of the game. Couldn't get control of our football, and it was just really bad. And there was only one thing that was gonna happen, and Nigeria were gonna lose that game. And that's what eventually happened. That's what eventually happened. But yeah, got back in the game. Sorry, half time, second half, extra time, 1-1. But even in extra time, I think the manager made a couple of. In hindsight is something that's 2020 hindsight or whatever. It's something that all of us wish we had. That we had that that power to see into the future. But watching the game yesterday, I just felt that we didn't really get on the ball, especially in midfield. And I think maybe the manager, I know Sime got injured, so he had to sub Sime for Akko Adams. But I just thought he could have maybe subbed one of the midfielders, bring in Onyedika, and maybe take off Finidi. No, not Finidi. Take up Indidi, and then you know change something because the game was just going. Because I think that's the mark of managers. You're there to try something new. You're there to change something. So maybe change something. Play three at the back. Ekong for bring on Ekong for maybe one of the midfielders. I don't know. Just change to the other back. Bring on Ekong. Put Ajayi. Bring on Ekong for Ajayi or something, and then play. Um, Bring on Ekong for Ajayi. Play Ajayi, Ekong, and Fredericks as three centre backs. Bring on say Samuel on the right to come in and play as a wing back, and then bring on Oyemachi to play as the left back, as the left wing back. Just try something different, especially in midfield. I think the midfield was the problem yesterday. The wingers came on, but they couldn't make any 1v1, you know, inroads into the Congolese half. I think they look tired. I think that's what yesterday was all about. They just look really, really tired. I don't know, maybe especially in extra time and from the 20th minute as well. In the second half, we just looked really leggy. We couldn't win our 50-50s. They were winning all the 50-50, and when that happens, there's only going to be an outcome. And they almost scored as well. I think they had a lot of energy as well. They looked brighter. They looked sharper. I didn't see the first half, so because I was trying to sub my stream out. So apparently we missed another chance whereby Ndidi and Owen Franco and Yenka going each other's way, and they were struggling to score a goal between the two of them. And yeah, I know the players don't want to lose. We went to penalty. Penalty is always a lottery for me. I don't really like watching penalties because players get nervous and they miss penalties. You can train all you want. You can be the best. You can be the best in training, scoring all your penalties. When it comes to the day, you might just get nervous and start losing and start missing chances. So that's why I don't really like watching penalty shootouts. So yeah, that was really, really just all penalties were just something that I hate watching. When I used to play, I never used to take penalties as well. I know sometimes you can't blame the players if they don't want to take it. Then you can't force them to take it if they don't feel like they don't want to take it. It's even better that you say you don't want to take it, that trying to prove that you want to take it, but you deep down you're scared. So yeah, it's only football. At the end of the day, nobody's gonna die if you miss it. But at the end of the day, as well, there's a lot resting on your shoulders. So it was tough. It was tough. It was a really, really tough game. And Nigeria, the penalty shootout went the way it was supposed to go. The match, the way I see the match panning out was totally opposite to what I was seeing, especially in this second half. They just look tired, and I think that's what this team have to do now. They have to prove that they can get over the line, and they can. We saw them going to the final in the AFCON 2 years ago. Now they've got to the final of the playoffs, although this is just for the World Cup. And yeah, we just have to move on, from it. It's very painful. I woke up this morning, I was feeling really down, but and watching all the YouTube videos, people's reactions, I think it's good. It's like it's like therapy, man. It makes you feel better. You feel bad for a couple of days, but then you feel better, and it's good. Therapy is good. And yeah, everyone they're gonna banter us. We are Nigerians. We are proud of our team. NFF, that one is a different conversation entirely. We need a lot of stuff to be done, just like everything in Nigeria. It's like these boys come home and play. You're owing them money. You said you released the money at a certain point. If you release the money, why can't they be just be paid what they're due? It's just really bad. It's sad. But we're still the reason why we Nigerians have hope in this team is because we've seen what they can do. Got the talent. You know, I think if I was the president, I'll be calling the minister, sports minister, this morning and saying, Alpha, waiting happened, man. What did we do wrong? What can we do better next time? How can we, you know, how can we make our sports, our football, one of the best in Africa? You see all the other countries. There are loads of stuff we can do. We do have the money because all the ministers get paid their salary. They got paid their allowances. We do have the money, and we need to basically focus on our league as well. You know, a couple of things that needs to be done. I'm going to do something in terms of what needs to be done to save Nigerian football. I can't, or Nigerian sports in general. I'll just say football at first, even sports, but my passion is football, and I wish what do you call it? I had a lot of money. I can, you know, go to Nigeria and try and make a change in sports, especially in football. Because nobody's gonna do anything. All these people, they're all in there for politicking. Politicking every single thing. Most of them are, I think the chairman of the FA chairman used to run a football club in his state, and you can see the state of the football teams in Nigeria. See the state of the league. You see most people watching Barcelona, Liverpool, and Arsenal instead of watching their local side. The stadiums are empty. That's one thing for me. I can't understand. There needs to be an overhaul of the league. I remember when I was growing up, I used to watch stationary stores of Lagos. I used to go and watch them. The stadium was not that standard was very good in my eyes. The football was good, but the stadium was not that good. But that was back in 1994 or something, 1992, 2025 now. There needs to be a lot. There needs to be a lot done. That football team is the only thing that's a joy for Nigerians. They go through a lot of stuff. People struggling to make ends meet. People are struggling. The football is something that they really, really like, and the government needs to do better. I don't want to be mentioning the government because the government can't do everything, but the government has to put the incentive in there for people to want to come and invest in the sports in Nigeria. We have to, especially football. We need to really, really, you know, this World Cup and the last one is like a sign that we need to do something. We can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. There's something not right. That league in Nigeria has to be improved, man. I watched I saw some of the South African leagues, and the standard is really high. The way they cover their football, the way they cover the games. North Africans are the same. So yeah, yeah, everybody can banter us. No, I don't care about that, man. They can banter and say whatever they want. At the end of the day, the main thing is, do we actually, are we going to learn a lesson from this World Cup? Not qualifying for this World Cup. Are we going to actually get something out of it? Because that's the main thing, really. You gotta learn from your mistakes, and I hope the FA, the people running football in Nigeria, wake up and run and learn from it. They said FIFA gave them some money as well. Get sponsors. FIFA give money for local football development. You know, there should be pitches of, what do you call it, waterproof pitches, astroturfs all over Nigeria. And it's really sad. It's really sad, man. And we need to do something. We need to do something, and change the way the football is. You have to. what you have to protect it and you have to nourish it. And you know, we need to go back and sit down and set a plan for the next 4 years and see what do we want to do. We need a football academy, and I always say that we need a national football academy like they have all over Europe with a technical advisor. You know, they have land that they can build a football academy in Lagos, Abuja, wherever. You know, our national teams will stay there. You can bring teams from schools and club sides to come and train there with the best facilities. You know, but if you want to do that, you have to be sincere. You don't want to put in money for a project and people are not doing the right thing. People are embezzling the money. You know, we need a technical advisor. Go and get some of the best technical advisors in Europe. Even if you're going to get them on a part-time basis for them to head this academy, let them come and run football. Get coaches working under them all through the different age groups from the senior national team, under 17, under 18, under 20, under 21. You know, let's have a football academy. That would be one of the best things. You know, the teams will play the same system of football. You know, we proved that we've got the what do you call it? We've got uh, the what do you call it? We've got the under 17 locked down. We've won a couple of under 17. We are the first African team to win the under 17 World Cup. So we have the foundations there. You know, we just need to do better. We need to get those teams, those age groups, building them, monitoring them, getting them out, watching what they do abroad, watching what they do when they go outside to play football, tracking them. We need a system whereby we track what they're doing. Technology now, keep track, have a database of all our players from when they come into the national team at under 17 right through to under 20 before they move into the even into the first team as well. We track them. You know, Benjamin Fredericks is a typical example of how you when good recruitment. You know, we've got a lot of what do you call it in Nigeria already, all these academies, and they are all making money just selling players. You know, we can tap into that. We've got a foundation already. Just link into that, make it more solid. Have a central database whereby you monitor all these players, age group, and all that kind of stuff. You monitor their performances, how they're doing. You track it. You know, we're in 2025. We have clever Nigerians back home or abroad that can do all these things. Database, data tracking, tracking players, performances. You know, and it's really sad that you know the football that what Nigeria can be if everything was done properly. You know, it's just a waste that we keep we keep just people running football just they keep messing it up, and they need to do better. You know, they need to do better, and hopefully they will. But all we can do is just keep talking. And if anybody wants to get involved in football and you have the ability to get involved with football, or you have the money, or you have the clout, and you have the mindset of to do something good, you know, please, give me a shout. Me, I don't have the funds, but give me a shout. I'm willing to contribute what I can do in terms of ideas and all that kind of stuff. You see people running football in Nigeria, and you just wonder what's going on. It's like, it's just really not up to standard at all. And hopefully, we'll see we'll see the best of it. Our national team should be a team that travels around the world, playing friendlies all over the world, like the Brazilian team do. They should come to Europe, go to America. Nigerians are everywhere. That national team should be making a lot of money for the FA, because they should go out and be playing in all these big stadiums around the country, around the world. You know, and they'll be making good money, and that money can be used to for the age groups and for the academy and all that kind of stuff. I know FIFA gave them allocations of money. I'm still going to do something on it because I want to know how much. Just follow the structure and then know how much FIFA is giving each federation, how much we're getting for each games we play, and then you know just come up with my own the plan, the strategy and the plan for me basically, that I think will definitely work. You know, and yeah, I'm gonna do something on that. Basically how to save Nigerian football because this has been going on for too long, and something needs to be done. I'm passionate about football, Especially Nigeria. We have the talent, we have the population, and we need to. I know we can't qualify for every single World Cup, but some of the World Cup that we are missing out on is just down to lack of preparation by the Nigerian federation and the government really, and it's really sad. So yeah, for me, if I was one of the some of the NFA members, I'll probably if I was me, I would definitely resign. Most of them are rich or they got money already anyway. So if they resign, that don't it's not gonna make them go bankrupt or poor, you know. And we just need to do better, man. We need to do better. So yeah, off to the Afcon now. We see what happens. The good thing is the Afcon is just around the corner, so we can all. There's no time for, especially the players, to feel pity for themselves. Get back to your clubs and get ready, go on with the season and get come back in December for the Afcon. I think they got a friendly against Egypt or something. I don't know when the friendly is, but yeah. And this is all about 90 minutes. I know I went off on a tangent, but just something that needs to be done. Most people will be doing it now. No point in ranting and raving or abusing players because they gave it their best and the best was just not good enough on the day because football is all about what you do in 90, 120 minutes plus penalties. So we move on. But I'm going to do that thing about Nigeria, how to save Nigerian football, basically. And yeah, I'm going to put it out with loads of ideas, the plan, top to bottom plan, all the way to the grassroots. And yeah, that's something we're going to do. And hopefully, somebody has the same mind and somebody will have the opportunity to be able to do it and be in charge of football in Nigeria. Because most of the people running the game in Nigeria, they don't have a clue, man. The administrators, they don't have a clue. So yeah, you know, we don't have an academy in Nigeria, a national football center in Nigeria. As big as the country is, as how good we normally do in football in 2025 is bad. It's bad. And sometimes you'll be surprised at how things are done. Sometimes you go to places just like every other thing anyway, because that's why I think sometimes we're always surprised, or maybe we shouldn't be, because how things are done normally, you think things will be done professionally sometimes, but when you go to the airports or go somewhere in Nigeria, around Nigeria, you see that things are done unprofessionally sometimes. I'm not gonna say everywhere because I'm talking about my experience, but I know some places might be different, but I'm just talking from my own experience. So thank you very much for watching. This is all about 90 minutes. I know it's not about the football. We talked about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, everything leads to success. Every single step, every single stone, every single preparation, every single plan, every single thing you do builds you up to success. And you can start planning now for that 2030 World Cup. So yeah, back to Premier League football. So yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens with that one. Now I'm not even thinking about Premier League football. I think by Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be thinking about not London Derby. So this is all about the Super Eagles. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you're watching this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is all about 90 minutes.